hear you. Woo! It's a cold one today, friends.
Yes, it is.
For anyone wondering about this wall behind us, I have a video where I built this wall and showcased why I did it and what I did. And just to give you a cliff note, the reason I built it was for videos like today's. It gives us a nice backdrop to sit in front of and do videos like this. All right, Brett, what are we going to be discussing today?
Today we're going to be discussing snow plows versus snow throwers and which is best for you. Stay tuned.
All right, so you have your little garden tractor. You want to get an implement for snow mower. You've never used it before. Do I want a snow blower, snow thrower, snow plow? You know, it can be a difficult decision. Ultimately, your best bet is to get both.
Yes.
But not everyone can afford that. Not everyone has that storage room. Not everyone has the desire to have both. So if you had to pick one or the other, let's go over some different scenarios and reasonings why you might pick one over the other. So I would say one of the big factors, see if you agree, Brett, is going to be the type of snow you get and how much snow you get.
Of course it is. And the big reason for this is that, at least I have found that snow throwers and blowers are a lot more finicky than snow plows. Snow plows will really plow through anything. Snow blowers and throwers really want light, airy snow. If you have really wet, slushy snow, they're not going to perform well at all.
I would agree. I would say, you know, the single stage snow throwers seem to work better in slushier, wetter snow than the two-stage snow blowers, at least in my experience. But the plows can plow anything. It could be water, it could be slush, dry snow, wet snow, it could be gravel, stones. If it's in front of the plow, it's getting pushed off the driveway. So I would say if you get a lot of wet snow, like Brett said, or slushy snow, a snow plow is probably better for you. However, if you're in a cold climate and you get a lot of light, powdery snow, especially a lot of it, let's say you get great, lake effect snow, then you're going to run out of places to put it, which we're going to discuss later on in the video. But for people getting a lot of snow, high amounts, I think you're really much better off with a snow blower or a snow thrower.
I agree, and I think the main reason for that is snow plows really don't like to push more than, I'd say, between 8 and 10 inches of snow. Whereas snow throwers and blowers, as long as it's the type of snow that they like, you can have 3 feet of it from them. They don't care. They're going right through it.
Now we have videos of both. I happen to have a plow and a snow thrower for the Case Ingersoll 448. I'm going to show some videos of those in action. And I really like them both for different reasons, and I dislike them for different reasons. Another big factor is going to be how much space do you have to put the snow?
Yes. Because let's say you live in like the suburbs or whatever, you don't have a lot of room to just push snow around. Obviously a snow thrower is going to be better because you don't have to have an extra 6 to 8 inches of room on the sides of your driveway. You just blow it over. However, if you do have a lot of extra room, it's a lot easier for a snowplow for you to create an extra 8 inches on each side of your driveway or pathways, whatever, so you can keep clearing the snow later into the season without it building up into the driveways or pathways, whatever you have.
Yeah, I would agree. People that live in real cold, snowy climates and get a lot of snow are going to agree, I'm sure, with us that throughout the winter, your driveway is going to get smaller and smaller if you have a plow, unless you push it way off in the first few storms. Because as those sides build up and push in, you run out of room. The snow thrower or snow blower is going to push it way off to the side, 10, 15, maybe even 20 feet away. So you're not going to have to worry about the sides closing in. You're not going to have to worry about these big banks of snow blocking in your driveway.
Another really nice thing about snow throwers and blowers that I feel like we're failing to even look at is how much nicer it looks. You have nice, crisp, clean edges on the side of your driveway when you get a big storm, which
Yeah.
you don't get with plows.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, even like, think about visibility pulling out into your road. Like Brett said, if you live on a busy road or maybe a development or something and there's a lot of kids, a lot of people around, if you have these big piles of snow in your driveway from plowing, you might not be able to see, you're going to risk nosing out, you might get hit, could cause an accident. You're not going to get that with a snow thrower. You're pretty much going to have a pretty even height of snow on the sides of your driveway, and you're not going to end up with these huge piles that don't melt until May or maybe even June sometimes.
Yeah, that is a big issue, is that especially in like big stores and stuff where they have like these big front end loaders out in the parking lots with the big plows, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
That there have been times that it's been like June and a few times even July that I still see little pieces of snow.
It's not uncommon. You get these huge piles of snow. The middle stays cold for a long time.
Yeah.
So I think another thing to really consider is the complexity of a plow versus a blower or thrower. So obviously a plow is basically one straight, piece of steel, might have a curve to it or a convex shape, but it's basically just a flat piece of steel. There's really not a lot to it. Versus a snow thrower or a snow blower, it's gonna have multiple moving parts, might have a shaft, could have gears, might be hydraulic, might have belts. So I mean, there's a lot of moving parts, bearings, there's a lot of things versus a plow that are gonna make it more complex, more things to break, especially two-stage snow blowers, you're gonna have shear pins. So there's a lot more that can go wrong, especially in the height of a storm or a blizzard versus just a snow plow.
And the other thing is something as small as a shear pin can break and it renders the machine unusable. Like we have a snow blower 2-stage at my house in Connecticut. And I remember last winter, we had one shear pin break on the left side. One little shear pin, maybe yay big. The entire machine was unusable at that point. So I mean, one little pin. If
you're in the middle of a blizzard, in the middle of the night, and you don't have extra shear pins on hand, which you should have, but sometimes you don't think about it, things just happen. You kind of SOL until the next morning when you go to the parts store and hopefully get the part. And you might need that driveway cleared so people can get to work, they can do what they need to do. So like I said, I really recommend having both, but I think at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you which one I would have if I could only have one. But first, let's discuss the difference between a snow blower and a snow thrower.
So the main difference is that a snow thrower is 1-stage, a snow blower is 2-stage. That's the biggest difference by far.
Yeah. So I would say the biggest disadvantage to a single-stage snow thrower, and it's not going to shoot the snow out as far or as quickly or aggressively through the chute as a 2-stage snow blower. But it's a simpler design, there's less things to break, and in my opinion, they work better on multiple types of snow. Whereas a 2-stage snow blower is going to help shoot that out. So you have 2 stages of fans or augers hitting that snow and shooting it out versus the 1-stage on the snow thrower.
Yeah, and I'd say that's where the big issue is that especially with the impeller fan, if you have anything other than nice, dry snow, really flaky, dry snow, it's not going to work too well. Whereas if you have a snow thrower, it's not going to be as good as a plow would be with wet snow, but it's going to still be 10 times better than a blower would be with wet snow.
My single-stage case snow thrower, they call it a snow caster for the case, and my single-stage Sears snow thrower, I've used them both in really wet, slushy snow, and you can almost use them as a water pump sometimes. It's much better for that kind of snow, in my opinion, than a 2-stage snow blower. Yes. So I guess to wrap the video up, I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. But to wrap it up, if you can only have one, I know what I'm going to pick, but what would you pick if you could only have a plow or a snow thrower, snow blower?
Plow. 10 times over 10.
I would agree. And I think the reasons why we agree are probably going to be the same.
Yes.
It's much simpler, it's way less to break, it's easier to put on and off, it's less moving parts. It's usually, easier to store because it doesn't weigh as much. And another huge advantage to the plow is you can use it in other seasons doing other things. You could plow gravel, mulch, stones. Snow thrower is a one-trick pony. Once the snow's gone, it kind of sits for the rest of the year. Whereas the plow, you can use it for a lot more of the year doing various chores.
Yeah, like there have been times when my stepdad's been clearing brush, whatever, he's asked me to push it. I just use the plow for that. Doesn't hurt the plow, doesn't affect it, whatever. If I had a snow thrower on, he asked me to do that, I couldn't. Because you can't use a snow thrower to push stuff, but you can with a plow.
So I think that's gonna wrap it up for today's video on snow plows versus snow blowers and snow throwers, differences and what one might be right for you.
Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.